Let's turn our attention to India and China. And last 4 months have been, in a way, a bit of a disengagement, a bit of a thaw, not fully maybe. But I want to put it in the context of what's happening between US and China and then come to India and China. So my first question in that respect is, one fear that Indian decision makers have always had is that there is no guarantee that US will not do a deal or a handshake with China and leave India high and dry. And therefore, India must have its own policy towards China. How fair is that?
I think that's a reasonable supposition because why only US? Every country looks to its own interests. And the United States track record is such that it has ditched whoever it wants to go there. However, the only caveat I would add is that vis-a-vis China today, unless the United States is prepared to be the number 2 or number 3 power in the world, it really cannot strike a deal with the Chinese. I mean, it can be very temporary, but that's about it.
Right.
But I think India is quite right to keep its powder dry, to keep, have reservations about what America is going to do. And that is the policy that we have followed so far. I think quite correctly. But if I can just add here, it doesn't mean that we are not keen on having relationship with the United States. I think that also has been made clear by.
Oh yes, that I think it's gone several notches up in the past
Yes.
few years, and I think Trump is likely to take it further up, given the way he operates and the way he just had a call with Prime Minister Modi,
Yes.
where they've spoken about meeting in the White House probably in February itself. But let's, like I said, turn to India and China. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri was in Beijing to meet Wang and others, and now they have decided to resume the Mansarovar Yatra and several other confidence-building measures. How should Indians look at this? Is there a trap here? Should India be wary of the Chinese approach to wooing India at the moment, because they are in trouble in other parts of the world as far as internally? Is that something that is driving their policy right now towards India?
I would certainly say yes. I would say that I don't think we should trust China at all. I think we should be prepared for another adventure by China, and I'll just spell out why in a minute.
Okay.
But what we are seeing just now of Vikram Misri going there, the NSA going there earlier and having the meetings, I would certainly not call it a thaw. I would say it's an incremental improvement in an attempt to try and,
Manage the situation.
manage the relationship.
Okay.
Manage the relationship. There are certain things that we need from the Chinese, certain kinds of trade that we are doing, which we want to continue. The Chinese, I think, are under increasing pressure to find a new market, and their economy is not doing at all well. So for them, it's imperative that they come close to us. After, mind you, Xi Jinping having made it very clear that the relationship with India is one of an adversary at the 20th Party Congress. You will recall my having mentioned that.
Yes.
So I think that is the backdrop in which this is happening. Mansarovar, yes, they are pandering to us. There's sort of that, we are keen on Mansarovar, our pilgrims, so it's a outreach to that effect. I think they would also be thinking that there's a BJP government here, and that will also
So emotional connect there.
and people to people. But we have also now opened up, going by the statements during Mishi's visit, about visas, journalists,
Direct
and
flights.
direct flights, which are the 3 demands that the Chinese have been making. So I think there is some movement here.
Sure.
But I would also invite your attention to Wang Yi's statement that has been reported about mutual tension, mutual estrangement, or mutual suspicion, mutual estrangement, and mutual exhaustion.
Sure.
It's a very strange formulation.
That we should refrain from doing
Yes,
this, he's saying.
refrain.
Now, for me, okay, you complete, then I'll ask you.
It's a very interesting formulation. In fact, mutual suspicion. if you just try and parse it as, you know, in English, the language that it was there, then that means they are also equally suspicious of us, and there's no reason why the suspicion should go.
Right.
And as I said, I'll tell you in a minute
Right.
the other problem. And mutual exhaustion. That is very intriguing.
Exactly.
Now, we have been seeing that they are having trouble keeping the forces deployed there, recruiting people, etc. So, is he implying that, or I mean, it's a
What
very,
is the exhaustion about?
Yes.
Is it about negotiations? I doubt it, because Chinese are...
No, I think they can carry on negotiating, but I think it's the combination of factors probably. It's troop deployment is one, of course, but I think it's also their exhaustion is the economic exhaustion that they are worried about. And I think that is what, in fact, drove them in the first place to start talking to us about, you know, the disengagement, etc. So that's how I look at it. But one thing I will say is when I said that, you know, there's a why I don't trust and what's happening. If you look at what's happening on the border, of course, the army will tell you better, but there has been no dismantling or pulling back of, and there cannot be, I suppose, of the defenses that they have built up.
In Aksai Chin.
In Aksai Chin.
Elsewhere in Arunachal.
Even
opposite
elsewhere
Arunachal.
Yeah, Arunachal. Second, the troop deployments and the induction of new weaponry has been going on all along. So that indicates some kind of preparation. They, of course, built roads and airfields and all that. I find a lot of development going on around the Depsang Plains and Hotan, that area of southern Singapore.
Airfields are being strengthened.
Yes. So that's one part of it. And the second is, I would say that the Dalai Lama's reincarnation issue, which is coming up, you know, and that could be a hot point as and when the event occurs.